Hey y'all, welcome to my vlog. This is going to be a vendor event vlog. So tomorrow we have a really long all day vendor event that we're going to be doing, and I'm going to take you guys through it. Today I've been doing a lot of packing and planning and doing things. So went to go pick up the tables that we have for our setup and our chairs, pack those in the car. Also, just making sure that I have all the stuff for the tables. So, like our tablecloth, some accessories, all of the setups that we need, all of the setup stuff that we need, packing that up today. And then tomorrow is going to be a really long day. So, we're expected to be there at 10 o'clock to start setting up. I think there's going to be like over, I think 40 to 50 vendors. So there's going to be a lot of vendors there, and it's going to be at a brewery. So I'm really excited. This is actually the third event of a series that the people who are hosting this event have done, and that their past couple events have been pretty successful. So I'm really excited about this. This will actually be our second event that we're doing this year. So we did one earlier this year. It was at a fashion show, and that one went really, really well. So I'm excited to see what the turnout for this one will be. So like I mentioned, we're called to get there at 10 a.m. to start setting up. And essentially, they're just going to have different vendors come in at different times. The actual event doesn't start until 2 p.m. and it ends at, I think, 10 p.m. So it's going to be a literally long day. It's going to be a long day. I'm so excited for it because this is our second event of the year, and I feel like it's going to be super fun. It's going to be nice meeting other people, other small businesses, other entrepreneurs. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm just excited to be in a room full of go-getters. You know what I mean? Like that just like amps me up and gives me so much energy. So really looking forward to see what the turnout will be. And we've actually added a couple things to our setup a little bit. We've gotten new business cards, so I'll show you guys all of that tomorrow. But yeah, just checking in the day before just to let you guys know that tomorrow is our event, and I will take you all through it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys our new business cards. We just ended up designing them on Canva. It's really easy to design them on Canva, especially when there's templates and you can just add your little flair depending on the type of business that you have. So if you don't know, our initial original business was a clothing boutique. However, we did rebrand last year into an eyewear brand. So now we're strictly just doing eyewear like sunglasses, blue light glasses, and then also some accessories with the eyewear as well, like an eyewear tray that's handmade. So of course, with that rebrand, we needed to get some new business cards. We kind of did this last minute because we weren't sure. We weren't sure like who we wanted to print through. Initially, we had printed our business cards through Costco, and it was fairly affordable for a ton of business cards, but I don't think they do that anymore. We were going to print them directly from Canva, but just because of the time crunch, it would have been super expensive to have them shipped out so quickly. So we just ended up getting them printed at Staples. I will be honest, I'm not a fan of the quality. We only got 150 to start, so I'm glad that we only got 150. And plus, it was requested that we give out 50 business cards at the event tomorrow. So we'll have, essentially less than 100 left. After our event tomorrow, which is fine. But I'll be honest, I'm not much of a fan of the quality. However, it will suffice because we needed it last minute. So I'm going to show you guys the business card that we created. Okay, so this is our new business card. So what we actually did was I designed 3 different business cards and then put up a poll on our Instagram story to see which one people liked most. And this was the most requested or most liked business card. So this is the one we ended up with. It's essentially sunglasses with our little logo in the top, as if you would see that embossed on an actual sunglass. And then just a little reflection here on the sunglass. And then our the name of our boutique, which is Edge 11. Bold Eyewear for trendsetters. That's kind of like what we have on our social media and stuff like that. Back is just like a little shopping bag with the QR code to our website. And then our little slogan is, we don't throw shade, we wear them. And then we just have other stuff like our website, our email, and then where you can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and then email. So this is our business card now. And so the reason why I'm not that much of a fan is because you can kind of see how it was cut. Like if you look closely, you can see like those white marks where it was cut. And it's giving homemade a little bit. It's giving like I cut it myself. And the thickness of it. So I guess I didn't pick the appropriate thickness of it. It feels a little flimsy, I'm not gonna lie. But it's fine. I mean, like I mentioned, we only got 150 of these, so this will do for now. But yeah, we'll probably either have to print somewhere else or like pick different settings for this to get printed, because I'm just not a fan of just like how it looks. Also, don't mind my nails, I need to get them done. So also want to show you guys this poster board that we got made. So this was another thing that I actually designed on Canva. So what we did was just design this on Canva. Essentially we'll be putting this on an easel. So this type of easel here that I got from Amazon, and then got this really affordable frame from Target for $8. You can get one from Walmart for like $5. So we wanted just to get like some sort of sign that we can have up by our booth area, because we don't have any huge signs right now, especially since we just rebranded last year. So we didn't really invest in all of that stuff yet. So we'll be doing that slowly as we do more shows this year. But this is like a little poster board that we'll have, and then we'll have it on the easel, and then it'll just be next to the table, just so people can see more of like who we are, our brand, and things like that. So this is a good way to like add a little razzle dazzle to your table for a vendor event, especially if you're inside. I don't know how we're gonna do this outside because this might blow potentially, but for inside events, this is really good. You just design a quick poster on Canva, print it out at Staples, which was fairly affordable. I think it was like less than $10 to print. And then get a frame for like $5 to $10 from Target, Walmart, wherever. So yeah. Another thing that I ordered was these price tags. So at our last event, obviously people would keep asking us, what is the price? What is the price? And then I would have to kind of go back on the site or on Shopify just to double check what the price was. So we didn't really have the price displayed on the item. So we were trying to figure out and brainstorm like what was the best way to do that. So we ended up buying these price tags from Amazon. They're pretty small. Let me just open it up really quick. So this is what they look like. They have the strings attached, so we'll just write the price on here, and then we'll tie it around the sunglasses and the glasses, the blue light glasses, so that you can easily see the price. But you guys will see that tomorrow and have Here's our progress so far. Yours looks so earthy.
I know.
It looks so nice.
Like home, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
But it's like, it's 4K like quality, so it's like super small and compact, but it's like really good quality.
I've never seen that in there.
Yeah.
You must have bought that a while ago.
I bought it like a couple months ago.
Hi, girl.
You look like me.
You look like me.
Those look cute on you. Those are a unisex pair too. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to maybe like see if there was one that we both like, because we both don't need more sunglasses, but Luan had 11.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
But I'm gonna call him now.
Often I gotta get glasses.
Oh really? Yeah, we have blue light glasses. These are for like
Can you
the
do blue light?
phone or the.
Like, can you make blue light if we have our own?
Yeah, you can take these to your eye doctor and have the lenses replaced with prescription. Yeah.
Blue light on them, but I was like,
Oh,
I'll
really?
just get my own blue light glasses.
Yeah,
Which one do you
yeah.
like? Yeah. What about, I'm looking at these ones too.
If you want to spend, you'll get like a percentage or dollar amount off your next order. So.
So if I get those,
Yeah.
I mean, when I get those.
$5 off. So it's actually been a couple days later, but I just wanted to get on here and kind of do a little recap on how the event went, some pointers for those who are looking to get into more events and things like that. So yeah, let's get into it. So the event went really, really well. I had a time. I had an absolute time meeting new customers, but also more importantly, meeting other businesses as well and seeing other local businesses as well. It was just nice just being able to mingle with people, have a good time, good vibes, good energy, and I absolutely love that. Just starting off with the top of the day, the event actually started at 2. It was actually a very long event. It was from 2 to 10 was the scheduled time. I think there were over 40 vendors, so there were a lot of vendors there. This was actually an event at a brewery, so there were a ton of vendors everywhere. There were performances, there were activities that you can do. They had a tattoo station. There was just a lot. It was a really, really, really fun time. So the event started at 2. We all had assigned times to get there. Ours was 10 a.m. to get there to start setting up. I would encourage you for any event that you do to try to get there, I would say at least 2 hours earlier, because one, you kind of want to feel out, how you're going to position your space, how you're going to maneuver things around. And 2, it actually took us a little longer to set up things than we had anticipated. So that's something you want to keep in mind, is make sure that you allow yourself enough time to get there and set up before the event starts or before people come in to actually start shopping, because you don't want to keep setting up and be all frazzled and people are coming to your table looking to see what items you have. You want to make sure you're fully prepared. You have everything all together, all of your ducks in a row. So I would advise, if possible, to get there at least 2 hours early. We were able to choose 3 different time slots on what our preference was. So we chose 9, 9:30, and 10. And then they were able to confirm which time would we'd actually be signed up to start setting up. So that's definitely tip number 1, is to get there at least 2 hours early before the start of the event. We had our cars loaded, so it was nice that there were a bunch of volunteers there to help. So we did have to bring our own table and chairs, which wasn't a problem for us, but that's something you would also want to confirm when doing an event, is to know if they're going to provide chairs and tables or if you're going to have to bring your own. So definitely confirm and look into that, just so you know what size of a table you need. And I would say also ask how big the space is if you are required to bring your own table and chair, because if the space is too small but you have a larger table, or vice versa, you're not making enough use of the space that you're given. You want to make sure that you know the dimensions and know what you need to bring and be prepared. When the event started, it was a little bit slow, but then we started to see people rolling in and coming in, as the day went on. I would say around 4 to 7 were the peak times, is when people were actually coming in and shopping and things like that. But we did pretty well with our sales. It was nice to just get exposure of our business and people getting to see our products. We actually had our new products as well that we haven't really launched on our website yet, but we allowed people to purchase at the event. So that was pretty cool. It was nice to see people's questions and their reactions and how they were trying the sunglasses on, and letting them know, which ones were unisex, how we started our business, things like that. And you have your table and you have customers coming to your table, make sure you're friendly, make sure you're approachable. People are coming to you, just say hello, because, you don't want to be a business owner or the person who's at a table where if I stop by your table and you don't say a word, I'm going to think you're not really interested in selling me your product. So I think that's always important, is to be approachable when you are doing these events, because not only just to make a sale, but also just to meet people or just to let people know your journey or how your business started. I just think it's important that, you're friendly, you're nice, you're approachable, things like that at your event when you're at your table. So that was really nice to just meet people. And there were people that stopped by, they would try the things on, they would just look, and then they would just walk away. And that's fine. You don't expect everyone to stop by your table and just make a purchase. Whatever you're selling might not be best suited for them, or it might be outside of their budget, or it just might not be their taste or their style, and that's okay. I think you want to gravitate towards customers who would love your products. So keep that in mind. Don't get too sad or underwhelmed if people are coming to your table and aren't necessarily purchasing. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It was actually hard for me to not spend all of my money, because I was just walking around and looking at all the other businesses, and everyone had a lot of great stuff, and it was in various areas. I bought a plant, I bought a hat, I bought a birthstone ring. It was just so hard for me to not want to buy stuff. But that's the good thing about these vendor events, is that people are selling different things. It's not just, depending on the event that you do, but at the event that we were at, people were selling different things, a wide range of things. And so you can really cater to a larger audience when you have so many vendors of different vendor types, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I had a time. It was just nice, kikiing with the other business owners, laughing it up, things like that. They had performers there as well, so I thought that was pretty cool. This was actually one of the bigger events that we've done, and actually a longer event that we've done. Like I mentioned, it was scheduled from 2 to 10. I would say we started wrapping up around 8:30 or 9. People were wrapping up. So we didn't go all the way until 10 o'clock, but we were there for a very long day. So that's something to keep in mind, is that make sure you bring snacks, because I brought a bag full of snacks. I brought, pretzels, I brought protein shake, I brought water. Make sure you're bringing water, because you never know, if the event that you're doing is going to have food for you. Fortunately, this was at a brewery, so they did have food that we were able to order. The brewery, they actually gave us a free drink, so that was nice. But make sure you're packing snacks and water at the minimum, so that you're well hydrated and that you're not getting hangry throughout the day, especially for those longer events. That's something you want to make sure that you're doing. We actually had 2 tables. So we had the sunglasses table for Edge 11, and then we had SugarByrd, which is home decor, candles, handmade goods. That's primarily owned by my mother. She does all of that. That's her business, and I just help her with that stuff as well. But it was nice to kind of be side by side and doing both things at once. So that's kind of gonna be our plan, like for events going forward, is just to have both businesses side by side and do it that way. Especially since they're so different. It's like you want sunglasses, you want a candle, you want this, you want that. So I think that's pretty cool that we're able to do that side by side. Make sure you have enough business cards, because a lot of people took business cards from us. Even if they're not going to buy then and there, they can always go to your site at any time. Or if you happen to get new arrivals, they can sign up for your email list or your marketing list. So always have a good amount of business cards on hand. Something else that we had was a little sign up sheet for we call it our VIP, which is essentially our marketing list, where we send out discount codes, or we'll send out first dibs on new arrivals, or when there's a special sale, if we're doing free shipping, things like that. Our VIP is always the first to know. So we always have that at our events, is a sign up list. And I think that's very important, because you don't want to rely or solely focus just on social media to build up your customer base. You want to make sure that you're building up your email list and your phone number list if you're doing SMS marketing, because ultimately those customers, they signed up for a reason. They want to hear more from you for a reason. And so the more that you can reach out to them, and the more that you can push your brand, your products to those customers that are already interested, you've already done half the work as far as getting people to your site. And so I always say that's important. Make sure that you have some sort of sign up list, so that even if a customer doesn't purchase anything from you that day or that point in time, you're able to kind of stay fresh in their head, stay fresh in their mind, when you want to send out emails or any type of marketing that you'll want to do. Another fun thing that we did, we had like a spinning wheel. So if a customer purchased anything, they can spin the wheel to get either $5 off, $10 off, 15% or 20% off of their next order. And then I would just write it on the back of a business card and put it in their bag so that they can use a code for the next order. Again, that's another way to encourage customers to purchase something else from your shop, your boutique, your store, by giving them another incentive to keep in touch and to stay in touch and to really keep your brand at the top of their mind. So that's another tip that you can do, is offer some sort of discount code. It doesn't even have to be dollars off. It could be free shipping. It could be a free item that you have, something small. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. So would definitely encourage you to look into that if you're doing these vendor events as well. Make sure that you're organized with your inventory too. That's something that was important to us. We have everything labeled, so all of our sunglasses, the styles, the colors, making sure that we knew the count that we have is very important. There was an instance that we thought one of the sunglasses on the table was the last one, and it wasn't the last one. It was actually, there was another pair, but it was just in the wrong box. So make sure that you come fully organized. Everything is labeled so that when a customer does come and they want to purchase something, you're not scrambling to figure out what you need to get for them. Because what we did is we had one of each sunglass on the table, and then the customers could try them on. They can look in the mirror, see how they look, things like that. But if they ended up purchasing one of those glasses, we would just give them a fresh pair from the box, because ultimately, people were trying those on. So obviously you can wipe them down and things like that, but it's just, customer service. Little touches like that are important. And if it was the last one on the table, we would offer a 10% discount, just because it was one of the ones that, people were trying on. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is to stay organized with all of your stuff. And yeah, I actually really loved our setup, and we got a lot of compliments on our setup this time around. I just feel like every time we do these shows, we just keep getting better and better with our setup and get more ideas and how we want things to look. We added some like wooden blocks to add a little bit more height to the table, which is something that we hadn't done before. And then we also felt like we needed a little bit of pop of color, so we ended up buying like a yellow like drapery that we can put on the table just for a little touch of color, a little pop of color. That was something that we hadn't done before. We also had a poster board of our logo and a couple of our products on there as well, and we just had it on an easel board. So it's just like little touches like that that really makes and draws attention to your table, which is really important. But yeah, I would say even if you're just starting out with like your first or second event, you don't have to necessarily go crazy with buying stuff, but just get creative. You know, look and get inspo from other tables, from Pinterest. We got inspo from Pinterest as well. You don't necessarily have to copy, but if there's something that you like, or there's something that you want to implement on your own table in a way, definitely do that. But yeah, don't go crazy just like buying a bunch of stuff, especially if it's like your first show. Like just get a basic understanding on how you want your setup to look like, and then you can be like, okay, I feel like I want to add a little bit more of this or do something like that, or add more color or more texture or things like that. And also, when you're at these events, you also get ideas by looking at other vendors' tables as well. So it kind of like gives you more ideas and like sparks your creativity that way too. So that's another thing to think about. I think that's all that I have for now, but overall, like I'm really pleased with how the event went. We had a good amount of sales, and I'm really glad for that, especially since we're in May now, so we're in the spring, summertime, and you know, sunglasses are in demand. So it was really nice. But I think what I really most enjoyed is just like meeting people and getting to meet other business owners, but also just like getting to like laugh and have fun with customers as well. That was what I enjoyed most. Even if we had only gotten one sale, like I still had a good time. So I think that's what's most important, is just obviously you're there to make money and to make sales and bring exposure to your business, but just have fun. Like, you know, don't have these high expectations like, yeah, I'm gonna make $10,000 today, and if I don't, I failed. Like, don't set yourself up that way. You know, be optimistic, be friendly, be yourself, be your authentic self, and just have a good time, because ultimately your energy will feed onto other people, and when they feel that energy, you know, it kind of leads to just a positive outcome. So that's my last and final advice on this. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos on just about businesses, running your business or your boutique, I'm going to get back on to being more consistent with that. So feel free to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone else, and I will catch you at the next video. Bye.